We are back with Dells Ducks Hockey this week on DellsDucksHockey.com and JuniorHockey.com radio. We're joined once again by head coach Bill Zaniboni, assistant Jake Hebeiesen, and for a change, we actually have some games to talk about. Pretty exciting that you got the exhibition season underway, Coach. And I think you had to be pretty happy. You had 3 games, you had 3 wins, and it looked like good efforts in all 3 games.
Yeah, I thought our lineups changed every game, so it was a good thing to to see guys come in and come out with the same effort. I thought we were really physical, and that was something that surprised me the most. So, I think it was good for us to see where guys sit on the depth chart and how guys are going to react when, it is a real game situation. So that stuff is always good for us. It's a learning experience for the coaches with a new group of guys. I think the biggest thing that, we have to understand is that you can't be satisfied with anything. So, it's 3 wins, it's 3 games. It's something that, the mindset that we should expect. It's just something that we took, and we'll move on, and realistically we got to forget about it and look forward to this weekend.
If you miss the games, I believe the scores, so there was a Friday night game against Lewis University Flyers. That was a 6-0 win for the Dells Ducks, and a game that they grossly outshot the Flyers. I think it was like 63 shots to less than 20. 3 goals for Jake Steima. What else is new? 2 for Lane Martin, I believe. The next day, a real spirited game against the Wisconsin Rampage that showed your conditioning. They really took it away from them in the third period, I thought. I think it ended up being a 7-2 win. And like I say, it was a close game for a while, and you just kind of moved away from them and left them behind. And then the one that impressed me the most, because the Central Wisconsin Saints gave such a spirited effort and had really some stellar goaltending. I think it was 1-0 going to the second half of a 2:25-minute half game. And to your credit, I think the guys just kept doing what they were doing. They knew they were playing well. They ran into a hot goaltender. I believe it was Diedrich was in goal for them. And they ran into a hot goaltender, and they just kept doing what they were doing.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, we were still successful without being on the scoreboard.
Right.
So you don't want to change stuff when things are going the right way. It's bound to happen. And you got to make sure guys are going to stick to a game plan and still perform. And no matter when things are high or low, it's that consistency that's going to put you over the wall. So we did a good job, I think, with that. And that kid played really, really well in net.
Sure did.
I think we threw a lot of stuff at him, and with the power plays, and I give our guys a lot of credit. I thought the Saints came out and really threw everything at us for the last day here. And I give their whole staff credit. I thought those kids did a really nice job. So it was fun to see. We see them quite a bit. We see them again at the showcase on Sunday. So, and we also see the Rampage, which should lead to another exciting game.
Right.
So, we're excited, I think, where we are. But like I said, never too high, never too low goes for the staff as well. So we're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Now, it's obviously with the game with the Stevens Point team, as you said, sets up a very interesting game here, which will be for 2 points. One final meeting with them before you can kind of say goodbye for the rest of the year. But that'll have a little bit more at stake, and I'm sure you'll be a little bit more prepared for that one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're getting new guys every day, and that's something that when Jake and I are at the showcase, we'll probably split up after our games are over and go, at different rinks and watch teams and get scouting reports so we can get our stuff in order.
Right.
To prepare our guys, the best of our ability. So it doesn't mean, we're going to win, but we're going to be prepared to have success. And that's the only thing we can do is give ourselves a chance to win every night.
Jake, there was a lot of movement on forwards. A lot of guys that were, just because of numbers, there was different players sitting out in different games. The 6 defensemen were pretty much there every game. I don't know, I think you might have juggled who played with who a little bit, but they really got a lot of work that day, and they looked good, all 6 of them, I thought.
Yeah, I thought, for the most part, I thought the group looked pretty good. They held up. I think the training camp week really helped them out lasting through the 60-minute games.
Right.
Overall, for a young group of defensemen, which it is, I thought they did pretty well. There's still plenty of stuff we have to work on, and it's nice to see the score at least reflect defensively what we were able to accomplish as a group. And that's not to say I thought the goaltending was outstanding. They definitely helped the defensemen look better at times. So good solid start to the year, I guess, for the D, and we'll see where we can go from there.
Now, I wanted to ask you about one of the defensemen in particular. I know all 6 of them did have a great day, but I've always been interested in the progress of Johnny Schwartz. He's kind of a converted forward, and I really thought that he played his best hockey so far last weekend, and he's really starting to get comfortable in that position, isn't he?
Yeah, Johnny's coming along. It's a lot different moving from forward to defense or defense to forward. It's just kind of a different mindset. But he's working really hard. He's putting in the extra time on the ice. He's coming in. He's not afraid to ask questions, which is the most important thing. And I think he's really taken it upon himself. Kind of at the end of last season into this year, he's becoming more of a student of the game, which is important for him because he's trying to play at a position where other guys have been playing at for 12, 15 years.
Right.
He's doesn't have much experience, but I think he's making a lot of leaps and bounds in his game, especially so far in the first couple weeks here, and I expect big things from him as the season goes along.
Coach, so I guess you had to be somewhat happy with the special teams. I think you maybe gave up 1 or 2 PK goals, but for the most part, I think for this early in the season, you had to be pretty impressed.
Yeah, right now we have 4 power play units running, so we're still trying to find out who's going to mesh well with each other and on the ice. What guys feel comfortable and where they're going to be. Whether it's overload, umbrella, 1-3-1. All different situations. So we were happy. Especially on the kill. I think the biggest thing that our guys have to understand is they need to outwork. Our 4 guys need to outwork the 5, and our goalie has to be our best penalty killer. So. Stuff like that gets addressed every day on the young season that we're in. So, baby steps right now, and by game 1, I think we'll be hopefully firing all cylinders.
Awesome. Now, you do have a 3-0 exhibition record right now. That mark is definitely in jeopardy going into tomorrow night. You're going to have probably maybe one of your tougher assignments of the whole season, taking on the Tier 2 Janesville Jets. Not only a Tier 2 team, but a really good one. We know that they're going to have a good season this year, and this is going to be a great learning experience for the players. And we talked about, not getting too high or low, but what kind of things do you expect out of a tough game like this?
I think the biggest thing that Jake and myself talked about today is we're really excited to see what guys are going to step up and really relish in the competition, and what guys are kind of back away and maybe be a little timid.
Yeah.
And that's going to help us because when it comes to game 1, 1 through 48 in the regular season or whatever it is, we want to be the team that dictates the momentum and dictates the type of play that's going to happen on the ice. So, I'm looking for guys to come out and try to set a tone right away for us. They're a great team. It's a great organization. We have a good relationship with the coaching staff, and we're looking at it as a lot of fun. It's a good experience for our guys because we try to build a team off of guys that could be a tier 2 guy eventually. So, all of our guys, that's their goal, is to play Tier 2 hockey. And, I think we have 2 guys in the locker room with Tier 2 experience in the NA.
Right.
So, it's going to be new for our guys. And they're going to have to understand when they line up that they're facing off, against 7, 8 Division I commitments already. And that's something that should be fun, and it's a great challenge. And, I think in anything that you do, you want to get challenged, right? It's just not fun if it's too easy. And we want guys that are willing to go through walls and battle hard for what they get.
Okay.
So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. We've talked to the coaching staff now twice today, and it's a lot of laughing and kind of fun and see what's happened. But both teams want to win, don't get me wrong. They want to win and set a tone for their season, and we want to win to kind of make a statement in Tier 3 hockey. So.
Usually when you talk about setting a tone, you usually are referring to a physical tone. That's the style of play you like to see. Can that work against a Tier 2 team? I mean, is that what kind of game you're hoping to play against them?
Well, I think to be successful, we have to slow them down. You know, they're not a huge team, but you know, you'll see tomorrow night. We were at their main camp. They're very, very fast and skilled. We are going to have to slow them down. We're going to have to take away the middle of the ice and give them the perimeter. And you know, we're going to try to create some turnovers in the neutral zone because we definitely have some speed as well. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to come out and establish our forecheck right away, and our goalie's gonna have to make some saves. You know, I just all aspects of the game for us to be successful against a Tier 2 team. You know, mistakes have to be limited. So we'll see where it comes.
Now let's look past that just a little bit. By the time this video comes out, the game might have already been played, and the season will be upon us. I remember last year talking to you before the season, you talked about how you studied film of teams to kind of pick up on their tendencies. The players may be different, but you seem to be of the mindset that the team will definitely play the same type of style. Now, two of the teams you're playing in the showcase opening, you've seen plenty. You know the Rampage, you know Central Wisconsin. You're not going to be blessed with any film on Marquette, who may be one of the tougher teams in that division. And the St. Louis Frontenacs, I believe, is who you open against. How are you approaching those 4 games?
Well, I think we're going to approach it the same way. You know, I guess the good thing about Marquette is I know Coach Stanaway really well. I know the kind of team that he wants on the ice every night. So, you know, that's stuff that we'll address to our guys. You know, in St. Louis, I mean, we looked at their protected list. There's not many returning guys. There's a lot of new kids, and you know, they come from some good programs with that Afton team out of St. Louis, and you know, they're going to be good. You know, they're trying to change everything down there.
Right.
I give those guys a lot of credit, and you know, it's stuff that we can't take lightly. So me and Jake will go back over film from us in St. Louis last year at the showcase, and we'll probably watch some GL games from last year. And you know, like you said, the players will change, the personnel will change. But the mindset behind the bench won't change with a system and how they want to run things and what they want to do when they're first to a puck, or how they're going to set up when they're getting pressured. So it's all little stuff that, you know, we take very seriously, and we want to win every game, so we can't overlook anyone.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any added pressure to you and Jake, but I think you're one of 2 teams that went 8-0 against the Great Lakes last year. You take a lot of pride with that, and I'm sure you want to keep that up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it was us and Rochester last year that went 8-0, and that's something that we were very proud of. I mean, you know, the Lights were a top team in our division that didn't do it. So, you know, any game that we win, I mean, you know, we want the guys in the locker room to feel good and make sure that, you know, they feel rewarded after a hard week. And getting pushed here, you know, when we go on the road or we're playing at home, I mean, that's the biggest thing, is to keep the mental state of these guys going. Because it is a long year, there's a lot of ups and downs, and you got to keep pushing them. So, you know, the wins make everything better. And that's what I tell our guys all the time. Like, when you're winning, everything in life seems better.
Right.
So, you know, that's the mindset that we're going to take into every game.
Jake, I'm going to ask you, I know one of the things that's always been intimidating for this team when they go to Rochester, the big crowd. Do you think that maybe getting a taste of a fair, you know, you hear that Janesville gets big crowds for their game, getting an early taste of that, do you think that might help a little bit for when you have a game, say, in Rochester or maybe against the Owls or something like that?
I definitely think so. It's just the intensity that comes into those games and the pressure that's added by the fans that is really pressure you allow yourself to feel as a player. But, you know, I'm expecting a pretty good crowd down in Janesville tomorrow, and they've got a really loud group. I've been down there for a few games last year. Their rink's a little bit smaller like ours, so the sound definitely travels. So I think it'll be a good test for everybody, especially, you know, the rookies or even the vets who maybe have played in places that, you know, didn't have a lot of fans. But just to kind of get that under control this early in the year and learn how to play through it and how to respond, I think it'll be invaluable going up to Rochester for the showcase and beyond that.
Okay, a couple of announcements then here at the end. First of all, I don't know if we mentioned this last week or if we've said anything about it yet. The jerseys behind us tonight, and I think they're behind us last week, are the new Dells Ducks jerseys. They feature the Wild Wing character that everybody knows from the some of the Duck movies and stuff like that. They kind of have an LA Kings look, and a lot of thought went into these jerseys, Bill. And I think you were the prime force behind designing them. What was the thinking in that?
Well, to be honest with you, I really wasn't behind it. It was actually my wife, so
Oh,
I can't
okay.
take credit for it.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
But I love the colors of the LA Kings. I think they kind of stand out a little bit as intimidating colors, and so that's what I like, and that's how I always want my team. So I figured, well, if we're able to, and it gets voted, which it did by the board, that we would try to change everything up and get a new look. It's a kind of a new identity for us. I mean, I thought we started to put our name out there last year with the success that we had.
Right.
And, this kind of just adds to it and makes the guys come in. It's really something proud to put on, and, hopefully we represent it well. But yeah, it wasn't really me. It was just the colors were me, but everything else was
She did a
my
fantastic
wife's.
job.
Yeah.
And a new face in the lineup as of, I believe, yesterday, or maybe even just today. We've been kind of whispering about, what if. But Brett Johnson signed on the dotted line yesterday, and that is big news and very exciting.
Yeah, no, it's big news for a little guy, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, Brett's, obviously Brett's proven at this level to be a very good player. He's very skilled with the puck. He's very fast. He's creative. The thing about what most people don't know about him in the locker room, I think he's really valuable to us. He keeps everything light. He tries to make the guys have fun all the time, and you need guys like that have the experience. So, yeah, no, Brett's coming back. He won't play tomorrow night. He'll meet us in Janesville as he landed today in Chicago. So we're excited to have a guy like that back. He knows what we expect out of him. He can be another leader, whether he has a letter on his jersey or not, but he knows what we want out of a group.
Right.
And he was proud of doing that last year.
Yep.
And that's why he's coming back.
Played on, I guess you could call it your first line last year. Him and Lane played together, and they did a fantastic job with Nick Albergo, with pretty much your top line in the playoffs. So that was great. And also, it sounds like you have awarded the C. A couple decisions still to be made on the other letters, but you want to go ahead and announce that, Coach?
Yeah, no, I mean, our captain, I think anyone that's been around the program for the last year, it was an easy decision, I think, for us to name Jacob Steima our captain for the 13-14 season. And I don't think anyone would question that know him or seen him play. Just a great down-to-earth individual, comes to work every day no matter what. And and off of the ice, he's a hard-working kid. I mean, he worked all summer, in construction, and he's very grateful for everything that he has. So that's someone that you want that on, and that he's going to lead by example. That's for sure. I mean, he's definitely not a guy that's going to yell and scream, but he's a guy that's going to put on a hard hat every day and go to work for you.
When we were doing the intros in the locker room earlier, a couple weeks ago, I guess it was, he said, I'll put all you guys on my back this year. I mean, he was joking, of course, but he certainly is the guy that could do that. So, yeah, great leader.
Absolutely.
And that's all we have for this week. We'll be back next week, which will be the eve of the regular season. We'll be through the Janesville exhibition game with the showcase in front of us, and that's when the points are on the line. So that's things are getting more and more exciting every day, obviously. For this week, I'm Jim Van Halder with Coach Zaniboni, Coach Hebeiesen. Thank you. We'll see you next week.